That was unexpected and very exciting for the Bellinau project. We're actually drilling geotech holes there and didn't quite expect to find any mineralisation there. Important thing, it looks to be pretty wide, it's high grade, and most importantly it's close to the mining infrastructure, in other words the decline. So we'll stick a few more holes in there over June, and if that comes good, then obviously it adds very cheap, easily accessible and early high-grade ounces to the mine development. A bit too early to say at this stage, but this project just keeps on giving. Yeah, so the Pinjim was our last and critical permit we needed for the development of Tambang. That came through in, I think it took us just over 15 months, which is a pretty good track record for Indonesia, probably a couple of months behind schedule from what we'd hoped. But the important thing is we've got that one in the bag now, and that's allowed us to move forward onto the rights issue. I think the important thing is it's about discipline and about having all your facts. We've got a very capable team, a very experienced team in Indonesia. It's a huge asset that the company has, and the important thing is don't try and take any shortcuts. So we're very thorough, very disciplined in our process. As I said, it's taken us 18 months, but the important thing is that we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. We chose to delay that permit by a couple of months. What that's allowed us to do is come in under the new mining legislation or forestry permitting, which came in the month of February, and it allows us to get a 10-year mining forestry permit, which matches our 10-year mining lease, which is a lot better than what we expected before and what we'd noted to the market, which was only a 5-year forestry license. So the fact that we now have a forestry license for 10 years, which is the full period of the mining plan at this stage, and if we extend that mining plan, then automatically enables us to extend the forestry permit. So that's always been a big risk in Indonesia, and the fact that the legislation has changed and we were flexible enough to adapt and get that forestry permit to match our mining legislation or permit 10-year period, I think is very important and removes a lot of risk for the project. The next phase really is just raising the money. So we announced the rights issue within a couple of weeks of the forestry permit coming through, and that rights issue will close early June. And then once we've completed the rights issue, then we will raise the debt equity. As you're well aware, the gold markets had a bit of a blip in recent weeks. And as a result of that, we're very fortunate in Tambang that we've got a lot of flexibility with the project. We've got multiple pits, both high grade and low grade. And so we've been looking to optimise the mine plan since we published our definitive feasibility study in September last year. So what we'll now do is we'll do further optimisations, and we're pretty optimistic that we'll both increase our production, lower our operating costs, all within the same capital expenditure cost timeframe. So I'm very happy about that, and I expect probably in the middle of the third quarter of this year we'll be in a position to update the market with that new mine plan. And so I'm really grateful that the project has so much flexibility and a lot of upside that allows us to accommodate any changes to the gold price. So I guess in summary then, we really need to get this rights issue squared away, followed by the debt component of our capital raising. But in the meantime, we're proceeding with the project as planned. The forestry coming in a little late has obviously delayed us by a couple of months, but we're very fortunate. There's a brownfield project, which again gives us a lot more flexibility. The critical path items were the mill, which we ordered in December last year. In February this year, we ordered some of the long lead underground mining equipment. Again, that's kept the project on schedule. So we're still in schedule for production first quarter of next year. We've used up some of our slack time. But at this stage, I'm still pretty comfortable. Fortunately for us, there has been a major downturn globally in the mining resource sector, And that's removed a lot of constraints that we were seeing out there in the engineering space, construction space, which has given us a bit of headroom. So at this stage, pretty comfortable we're on track. Really, we just need to complete the capital raising for debt and equity, which will allow us to pay for the plant. That's pretty comfortable about that. A fully underwritten rights issue by a major shareholder, which is a very fortunate position to be in this time. And we're starting to attract a lot more interest from the Main Street brokers who are starting to cover the stock, and we're getting a bit of traction out there. As I mentioned in my last briefing, I think we're the top performing gold stock on the ASX at the moment, albeit from a pretty low base. That's a very fortunate position to be in.